I was back on the day we chose our mates. My sister barely concealed the excitement in her voice as she rushed to wrap her arms around the Elf King's arm. I knew then that she had been reborn too. The elf is lustful by nature. I wonder how long she'll last. When Helena threw her arms around Elf King, even her mom, Lady Ashford, went still. The elf clan was considered the lowest race. Cold-blooded. Unfaithful. In every sense, the leopardkin, by contrast, made it one wife, no exceptions, loyalty written into their bones. And the leopardkin male standing in the room today was the future clan leader. Sharp-eyed, broad-shouldered, the kind of man every woman in the room had been silently fascinated about. The Helena still wouldn't let go of that arm. Lady Ashford's expression curdled. She'd brought the Elf King here specifically to humiliate me. She hadn't planned on her own daughter falling for it.
Are you sure about this? Mother, he's the only one I'll ever marry.
Even the Elf King turned to look at her, his thumb slowly caressing her skin. Lady Ashford pressed her lips together and gave in. With that settled, the leopardkin male Kalen turned to me. He dipped his head in a slight, unhurried bow.
Then it's you. Miss Mara, I'll send the betrothal gifts tomorrow.
In my past life, it was Helena who had chosen Kalen. She'd walked into House Ashvale as its new mistress, draped in the prestige of the most powerful leopardkin family in the region. He seemed devoted to the surface 3 years of polished appearance. Then a woman appeared at the gate, with his 10-year-old son. Helena came apart. She ran home to her mother, dignity in pieces. But Kalen had spent years building his reputation carefully. He brought the woman and boy home under the excuse of a drunken mistake, and to protect the leopardkin tradition against taking a second wife, he divorced Helena outright. Lady Ashford marched back to House Ashvale to demand answers. The mistress met them at the door.
I'm Lady Ashvale now. Your daughter aren't anymore. What exactly are you going to do about that? Give it time. I'll be the clan leader's wife. Then his mother.
Helena unraveled. She sat in the courtyard every day vacant and muttering when someone passed close end.
I'm the clan leader's wife! I am!
Both hands, her face twisting. My Elf King husband, by contrast, had been born into nothing, but he dismissed every one of his kept women. He trained relentlessly and built his court up from scraps. People said I'd made the better choice after all. Even Lady Ashford, who had never bothered to hide her contempt for me, started showing up at my door with fake smiles, asking me to visit. Then Helena had one of her lucid moments. She lured me to the edge of the cliff.
I'll drag you down to hell!
Her eyes hatred as she shoved me over. Now she's chosen my husband instead. I wonder if she can handle the Elf King's excessive affection. 3 days later, my servant Lily told me that Helena and her Elf King had been meeting in secret. Someone had spotted them coming out of an alley together, clothes barely clinging to them, her face flushed. Half the street had seen it. But we hadn't officially married into the family yet. This was not allowed. She came to me the same afternoon, brimming.
Obviously, my fiancé loves me. This is just how he shows his love for me. Mind your own business. If you say a single word to Mother about any of it, I'll make your life miserable.
I just watched her go. She looked nothing like the girl she used to be. The softness was gone. On our wedding day, 2 wedding horse carriage left the estate together. I knew why he'd gone through this now. The matriarch once said to him,
"You are the only heir. You must marry a noble woman. To continue the bloodline, that was the only condition for me to inherit clan leadership."
but his mistress was low-born, ineligible. He needed a proper wife. If she gave him a son first, better either way.
Reva! Sorry, everyone. My son misses his father.
His father? Was this his mistress?
He got confused. He didn't mean anything by it.
Today is my wedding. Can't you keep your child in hand? If he'd startled the horse carriage, I'd have had all your heads. Get them out of here!
The woman's face went white.
I'm so sorry. We're leaving. I wasn't about to let this dissolve quietly, husband. Don't be so hard on them. The child didn't mean any harm, and today is a happy occasion. I actually need another servant woman as my side if she's willing. She could come along with us?
Actually, her appearance was arranged by me beforehand. I got my own plan. This woman had one obsession, becoming Lady Ashvale now that Kalen had taken a wife. She was already fraying at the edges, so if I offered her a door to the estate, she'd walk through it without thinking. She hesitated for half a breath, then looked away from Kalen's sharp warning stare.
Thank you, ma'am.
The carriage rolled on. She followed behind, boy in hand. What my sister didn't know is that even if I were to live again, I would still be capable of solving any thorny problem. She would never be able to, and she would never know. The crowd murmured approvingly along the route.
The new Lady Ashwell is something else.
After the ceremony, I sat at my vanity and began fixing my hair. My servant Lily dismissed the others and shut the door.
Ma'am, the master just had a servant quietly move that woman and boy into the side courtyard. The leopardkin has rules against taking a second wife, and he's doing this on your wedding night. We could expose him right now. Go back to your family and end this before it starts.
Calm down, I didn't come here to lose to a kept woman. I had no family worth running back to. No mother, no father who would take my side against the Ashwheels. I'd walk through that gate as a piece on someone else's board. If I walked back out, I'd be spit on from every direction. I hadn't come all this way for nothing. What I wanted was House Ashwell itself. Kaelin could rot on the inside. I didn't need him to be good, I needed him to give me an heir.
A knock at the door.
My leverage just arrived.
Kaelin was drunk, but gracefully so. His steps wandered a little. It did nothing to make him less attractive. Lily moved to support him.
I only want my wife.
I swallowed contempt rising in my chest and sent Lily out. He played the part of a restrained gentleman, even when he was half gone. I had to admire consistency. I took his arm.
You've had too much. Should I have the kitchen send sobering drink? The kitchen sat close to the side courtyard.
At this hour, they'd probably be preparing food for his little family.
No, this is our wedding night. Don't leave.
In my past life, Kaelin used drunkenness as an excuse to avoid Helena's wedding bed entirely. She'd had to fight for 3 months before he relented. If this was going to happen eventually, I'd rather it happen on my terms, and in my time. I let myself go still. Let my body stop resisting. Kaelin's voice dropped. Whatever restraint he'd been maintaining came loose. I was too exhausted to move a finger. I passed out where I lay. He was the one who cleaned me up afterward. We're late for the morning tea ceremony. The matriarch was good-natured about it. She directed her mild scolding at Kaelin.
My fault entirely. We did that late. I kept her up. Don't blame her.
My face burned.
I knew I liked you the moment I saw you. I was half afraid they'd send that other girl. Luckily, she made a fool of herself so we could have a better bargain. You're the lady of this house now. These belong to you. There's no rush and nothing to be afraid of. If you need guidance, come to me.
I kept my hands steady as I accepted them. With those keys, no one in this estate would question my standing. No one could use my birth against me. In my past life, as a wife in the Elven court, I'd had to claw my way through sisters-in-law who outranked me by blood and never. The matriarch saw my expression shift. She sighed softly and took the bracelet off her own wrist, placing it onto mine.
You have suffered enough. Kaelin, you treat her well from here on.
On the way back from the matriarch's rooms, I walked half a step behind Kaelin, already thinking through which accounts to look at first.
Around what you plan to do about that woman and the boy?
And tucked my hand into the crook of his arm.
I didn't realize you were so concerned about them. Isn't that sweet of you?
He avoided my eyes.
I just feel sorry for them, a widow with a child. Perhaps they could work in the outer courtyard, do some light tasks.
The outer courtyard was full of staff. No one would track a woman's particular history there. Kaelin would find ways to meet with her in private, use the crowd as cover.
A pretty woman with a child alone, people might take advantage of it. You really haven't thought this through, have you? What if we put them somewhere quieter? Near the garden behind the study.
Kaelin's brow tightened almost imperceptibly.
Good thinking. There's a small room off the study anyway. They can stay there. How thoughtful of you.
I smiled. My nails were nearly through my palm. The study, he'd have every excuse to be near her. And the boy, he'd be able to teach him in private.
In a few years when our child comes, I'll make sure they have the best of everything.
I leaned against him. The passing maids whispered to each other. The master and mistress so in love. His mistress Riva heard it too. That same night, she went to find Kaelin, and he turned her away at the door. 3 nights in a row, he came to my room instead. The day we returned to visit my family home, Helena didn't arrive until almost noon. She swept into the room, glowing cheeks high with color, trailing a thick cloud of powder and perfume. Lady Ashford stared at her for a long moment.
Don't fuss, Mother. My husband spoils me very restorative herbs.
I noticed that her figure had changed, filled out in a way that read less like health and more like something under strain.
Your husband runs cold, I hear. He's distant with you, that's just how it goes. Don't take it personally.
I said nothing. I took my time looking at her. She seemed bright on the surface, but her steps were unsteady. She kept touching her lower back without realizing it. That kind of bloom didn't come from nourishment. It came from the Elf King's greediness. Something dark moved through her. Helena's hand froze in midair. She stared at Kalen in shock, stunned by how different he was from the man in our previous lives. How is this possible?